What's up, everybody? Today we are reacting to the Dying Light 2 gameplay, showcase reveal thing that Techland is putting on. The stream is obviously about to start, and I'm an absolute huge fan of Dying Light. I got the Platinum Trophy in Dying Light 1 on the PlayStation, and just really enjoyed, the parkour and the mobility of that game, and obviously the atmosphere and, the fearing nighttime, and how by the end of the game, you're going out at night because you want to get, the better loot and stuff. I mean, it's a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm excited because you guys are in just a second gonna see the official gameplay trailer.
Here we
for
go.
Dying Light 2. And
About
then after
time.
that, we're gonna interview some of the devs that made it possible.
Yeah.
Without further ado, here it is.
All right, I've been waiting for this. Oh,
Hey,
look at that.
We've been quiet for some time.
Yeah.
Since, like the rest of the world, we had some unforeseen hurdles to clear. But the wait is over.
Here we go.
Let's dive into the open world of Dying Light 2.
We at HD. Quality auto. No, make that 1080. Make it 1080p. 60 frames per second. I want to see it.
The last slice of Dying Light 2 showcased the mission from the main storyline.
All right, this is from E3.
You saw how your decisions influenced the narrative and notably changed the environment.
Wow, yeah. It's been a while. Been 2
This
years.
time, we want to give you a broader look at the game and a sneak peek at some of the things we'll be talking about in upcoming months.
Yeah. The story. Set 20 years after the original.
You become Aiden Caldwell, an outsider trying
just
to
revealed that.
unravel a tangled mystery from his past.
In the dying to
Its
know.
trail leads him to the
bit.
city, probably the last bastion of mankind in the world.
Probably.
Shit!
They seem to imply that this was like the last city. That it's been 20 years and that the infection
First, you feel
just
like
took over.
This intense, brutal place will tear you apart.
But by
then
the
you meet
end of the
Night
game.
Runners, veteran survivors who help people in better days.
Nice, cool.
By the way, I'm Hakon.
You were a night runner. You used to help people, remember?
Night runners are gone. Finished. A myth.
Nah, they'll be back.
And although it's not entirely clear you can trust them, you need allies in the dark.
Nice. The modern Dark Ages.
And these are the modern Dark Ages.
Game looks
It's been
gorgeous.
15 years since the apocalypse and the world has changed. The old civilization has fallen, but a new one has been built on its ashes.
Wow. Yeah, the building on top of like the skyscrapers is just awesome.
Fight desperately for scarce resources.
It's like leaning even more into the
And
apocalypse.
weakness is punished.
She's innocent.
Oh,
Factions
no!
struggle for position in the city. Survivors pride themselves on being able to adapt to any circumstances and cobble together.
I love the
safe
greenery of it all,
zones
giving me
almost
Last of Us vibes.
Peacekeepers, loyal soldiers who want to impose their version of law and order and trample all in their path.
Interesting.
Renegades, ex-prisoners serving their ruthless colonel, seeking to become sole rulers of the city.
Cool factions.
Ease. Wolves. Making token.
I ain't gonna talk.
Use these factions to reach your goal.
Wow, look at that. Like
Help
the
or
environment
harm them to
changing.
reshape the city to
Depending
your
on
liking.
what faction you lean into, maybe. Wonder what it's gonna be like for trophy hunting on
Each
PlayStation.
faction contains complex characters.
Lots of missable trophies, maybe? I don't know.
Nosy Parker, ain't ya? Got some kind of bad habit of yours?
Craven,
So,
like,
will you follow cold
The
calculation
role-playing aspect of
or
it.
your heart?
Reminds me of like, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Having a little bit of that.
Some
Which
in
obviously the
city
first one
offer
had,
no
but
chance for an alliance.
seems they're leaning into it
Bandits,
even more.
outlaws, and common thugs live only to plunder and kill, plunging the streets into chaos.
the kind of face-to-face dialogue conversations seem really well.
Yet, nightfall scares all of them equally.
I was gonna say like well animated or well visually, well designed. Man, that UV aesthetic though to kind of keep the zombies at bay.
Darkness changes the rules of the world.
I love that kind of
As
purple
the light
glow.
fails, monsters crawl out of hiding to prey on the poor souls caught outside the safety of UV rays.
Yeah.
Hordes of infected pour into the streets like decaying lava.
Nighttime in Dying Light 1 was so scary, but then by the end of the game, you're freaking like, oh, That's a good story reason to explain why there's new monsters. This 15 years can do a lot. Even The Last of Us 2 kind of lead into that with, like, it wasn't the bloater, but something like that.
City's verticality and flee to the roofs.
Yeah, the parkour was so
You're
stunning.
never safe from swift and deadly virals.
Man, the only time I really have time now to
Or even
play games is at night. This is gonna be terrifying. I think I played a lot of Dying Light 1 during the day in between college
Yet
courses.
night brings opportunity as well.
Now I can only play at night when my baby's
Nests
asleep.
infected during the day now lie empty. To explore them, you must tread carefully.
This would be a really good online game, just saying, like a games as a service thing, like a
But
Division
those
of
brave
sorts,
enough to
or a
face the
Destiny.
terrors of the night can loot a jackpot.
These are like raids, but it's also nice to have some single-player games in a world infested with just constantly online seasonal models and stuff. Seems like more of the same in a good way,
Luckily, you have all the tools you
with
need
then
to
just
survive.
way more robust, you know, verticality
Your
and
extraordinary
faction
parkour skills
role-playing
allow you to navigate even
and
the most treacherous terrain.
environment changing and stuff, which is all I really need to see and know to get excited about it, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how it'll support like PlayStation 5, like, because I have a PlayStation 5 and the DualSense is an awesome controller.
Acrobatics to save your life. But often, you'll have to face your enemies head on. And then you have to be smart, resourceful,
Oh, I love bow and arrow combat, man.
and determined.
Ah!
We've worked
Ah!
hard on the essence of our combat, making sure swinging a big, meaty weapon is fun, satisfying,
They're showing a lot here.
but even the most brutal fights can be tactical as well. You have multiple
Ooh,
ways to
man.
hone your skills
His
towards the
Kappa
gameplay
was
style that
detated
suits
from
you
his
best.
head.
It's
I
up
remember
to
that,
you
like,
to
I think there was like a
focus
drop
most
kick in
of
Dying
your
Light 1,
ability
wasn't there?
and Parkour, or aggressive, blunt force combat, or a crafty approach with the tools you've created.
Imagine this in
to get the
VR.
job
That'd be
done.
insane.
Every ability you learn can be a game changer and possibly a new favorite move.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, and this is what
Things
they've hinted
move
at
fast
before.
and quick in Dying Light 2. Each moment matters. Each move could mean triumph or defeat.
Oh, no!
Choose your actions and friends carefully. Everything you do in the city can reshape the gameplay environment, change the course of the narrative, and decide the fate of the city's residents.
Oh, dude, that guy just got
Most
yeeted.
importantly,
Oh,
you decide your own fate.
that's
as well.
awesome.
About to turn.
Make sure to stay human.
Yeah, wow. Leaning into some stuff from the expansion of Dying Light 1 there, too.
Expensive post-apocalyptic
Wow.
world. And I really like that divisiveness. You know, the life on the roof and then death on the streets.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
The intensity of the day and the night cycle together.
It's almost like Dying Light 2 is two different games put together into one.
Yeah, like despite that, despite all the brutality going on the ground floor, there's something about like the rooftops and the plants and
It's
stuff.
cozy.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I like how they're just building on top of that.
But
like
it does feel like
civilization
every decision
is.
is vital. Like your choices actually do have some consequences.
Choices and consequences are incredibly vital to Dying Light 2's gameplay. And we're going to interview
Kind of
devs
some
and
Dishonored
talk about
vibes
some
a little
other
bit there,
very
too.
Vital gameplay mechanics.
Awesome. Well, cool. I'm going to go ahead and turn the volume down and give my thoughts on it real quick as they interview people. And I'm only going to include, I reacted actually to a lot of like their interview stuff before the gameplay trailer as well. And it's fascinating, but I'm just kind of eager to get my hands on the game, so I'm not going to have that reaction, just the gameplay trailer. And based on what some of the stuff they said in that, they said that's set 20 years after the events of the first game, 15 years after like the whole world falls, which, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but if I recall correctly, there was like the Olympics or some sort of major event happening in Haran when the outbreak sort of happened. They quarantined Haran and kind of kept the virus contained, but it seems like through mutations and testing and all of that through the past 20 years, now it's just the whole world's gone, which is kind of interesting because that's like a pretty big story beat, but it doesn't feel like it's going to change the game that much because, like, you know, we felt like we were already kind of like trapped, you know, in the apocalypse in Dying Light 1. So I'm trying to remember like if there's like supply drops or something. Like, it's been so long since I played the first one, but like I said, I got the platinum in it and had like a really good time, and then it's just been so many years. And so, yeah, no, I'm excited for the sequel. I'm excited to have the role-playing elements really lean into it. It seems like they showed some glimpses there where like the entire environment's changing, and depending on what faction you kind of unite with, you can then, change what certain areas of the city maybe get developed based on what they kind of lean into, and maybe what gear you get and what sort of, skill trees you unlock. Seems like that's all based on what, factions you kind of lean into, which reminds me, I loved like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and then I really enjoyed 4 as well. And it's always like fun to like, if you lean into like the Brotherhood of Steel, or if you lean into, this faction, that kind of changed a little bit of the way you experience the world. Or even like with Elder Scrolls, like do you go to the College of Winterhold, or do you lean into this story arc? Like, you can kind of change the way you approach the world, even if the end goal is ultimately the same and the gameplay is ultimately the same gameplay loop. There does kind of feel like there's a little bit of like immersion there, which is awesome for a game like this where you feel like you're just kind of growing your character in the world. So I like that. I think the visuals are really stunning. I think if the gameplay is anything like Dying Light 1, that's gonna be great for me. And yeah, I'm optimistic that they're gonna be able to pull it off. It's weird. I think just with COVID, I think that just kind of delayed them, but looks like everything's on track to be a really strong sequel. And all the narrative stuff they're saying is pretty cool too. So that's my thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of Dying Light 2, what you thought of Dying Light 1. Did you ever play it? Are you going to be picking up the Platinum Edition to catch up in time for Dying Light 2? All that good stuff. It feels like it's, gaming season again with E3 announcements happening and things like that. So it's pretty exciting to get back into doing these reactions and to talking about video games. So I'll talk to you guys down in the comment section below. But until next time, bye!